Hello everyone, my name is Mitz, we're a figure executive court. So now we're finally going into Chief Freud telling us, hopefully gosh dang telling us, what the stolen evidence was. I swear to God, for once in your goddamn life, you grape and cherry popsicle, you better just be straightforward for once in your gosh dang life and just say what the stolen evidence was. I've been going in circles about what it was, just thinking about the circumstances of like how it was stolen from Paradox's investigation room and all that. Just, if it was Paradox stole it, and he was the one who carried it into the interrogation room, it must be there, but it's not. I went to a small circle of that in the comments of the last video. I don't know. Well, I do, but you know. Very well, testify. But first request. Turn my air conditioners back on. Oh no. No way, Jose. Your name is not Jose, so even doubly no. I'm afraid we won't be doing that anymore. I don't wish to be responsible for ruining the backup power too. Now, your testimony, please. My air condition. Your Honor, I don't think you understand how vital they... This room temperature will not be changing by a degree, and that is the end of it. A perfect 72 degrees. Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Fahrenheit system is better than Celsius. And besides, you just ordered for all your units to be transported back to the police department. Oh, that too. No, you don't. You're not warming your way out of this one. There's something important you don't want us to know about the stolen evidence, and I'm positive by your urge to cover up your lying habit that is connected to our case. Whatever it is, I'm going to drag it out into the open and save my badge. That's the spirit. Stolen evidence. Yesterday I discovered something amiss in the records room. The VD8 locker, the case code for the recent murder of Marvin Grossberg, had been tampered with. On closer inspection, I realized that a certain something wasn't there anymore. You're still being vague. I've had a whole of criminal affairs and Mr. Wright here on the hunt for it. The cover was found to be the deceased officer Paradox, who was also recently murdered. For a reason I can't disclose due to case privacy, it's really urgent that I get that evidence back. Wait, why do you need evidence from a case that's been solved, though? So it's VD8, it refers to the case of Marvin Grossberg? My first thought, if you're not gonna say why you need the evidence back and all that, maybe this is the same thing as like Hemlock asking you to get that evidence back. So like if my idea about, you know, Hemlock really wants Enigma back, he wants this random piece of evidence that was from the Marvin Grossberg case back. Just that case has been done and solved, so why does he need something from there? That case entirely. And, like, what was it? The card is not stolen. I thought it was the card, like, just spinning ideas last time, but that was the first thing, like, Phoenix pulled out and, like, you know, made him realize this is the Marvin Grossberg case in the records room. Just that whole thing. Refers to the case of Marvin Grossberg? Why, that case was only less than 3 weeks ago. Yes, how sure time does fly, huh, Judge? I found that out for myself yesterday, but what on earth could have been stolen from it? It's either just some evidence we've never seen before, or it has to be something... There's something about the circumstances of how, like, the evidence should be in the investigation room still, so literally that evidence should be, like what we found from the last case, should be, like, you know, compared to, like, you know, Marvin Grossberg case, but none of that evidence besides, you know, the name card, I guess you could say. Well, I mean, well, that wasn't really added to, you know, the thing, but those cards in Volper sell, but that doesn't really count, does it? It's a completely different card itself. None of the items in the investigation room itself, like, match up with anything from Marvin Grossberg case. Like, literally nothing. What was it? Like, a coffee mug that snows. I think there was a satchel. There was atraquinine. Yeah. I was gonna say, well, that could have been the poison that Volper used, but I think we can't really know for sure if that was the same poison Volper used. Well, tried to use the poison Phoenix and Maya when they first met him. I'm just going around in circles, just continue on. What do Paradox, or rather, Greason's mold, Clive Warren, finds so important? Most importantly, can I tie into this case in Hemlock? That's what I need right now. I must confess I don't know where you're going with this, right? Well, join the club. Neither do I. You're having a grand old time just grasping at straws here, sipping away through gosh dang milkshake. As I have no bearing whatsoever on this VD8, I'm afraid there's next to nothing I can help with. You plan to somehow connect the case to this one somehow? That's on your own head. We didn't have, like, we would have it any other way, huh? Why else would it be beaming like the sun right now? Your hair is white, so wait, well, the sun is technically white, but, you know, just looking through the atmosphere of the Earth, it's technically yellow, so, okay, you got that right, okay. Because I know that Wright can possibly be able to evolve me or Hemlock. You're in over your head, son. Why not just toss your badge over here like a good little soldier? I hate that smug grin. You want maybe begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright? I know you're hiding something big, Freud. Something that would put you in big trouble if I happen to expose it. Which is exactly what I'm about to do. You know, so part of me just wants to skip ahead to that okay, you know, fuck it. I'm just gonna go to it. At the whole criminal affairs and Mr. Wright here on the hunt for it. Culprit was found to be deceased. Okay, we skipped over it. Inspection, I realized that certain something wasn't there anymore. Can you tell us what it is? Here we go, and the chief is sure to know what the missing evidence was. What exactly wasn't there anymore? It was a... confidential. Next question. What? But this is important. Confidential! Next question! Damn it, this is no good. I'm not gonna find anything out if he just keeps yelling confidential. Look at his face. Oh, forgive me, son, but it's my duty as chief of police to ensure the force's security isn't compromised. I'm sure you understand. Do you understand? Good. Correct answer. Anyway, that's it. That's the clincher. He won't tell us what the missing evidence was. Sure, that's what he's trying to hide for whatever reason. Maybe there was some way I could prove what the stolen item actually was. Might even have to take a stab in the dark in this one. Wait, a stab in the dark? Wait. Stab in the dark, that's the hint there? Well, I'm just gonna... let's just go along, press, maybe there's some other clues and go along with it. A stab in the dark. Miss, could you be more specific, Chief Freud? Specific you say? Fine then. I was pursuing the lockers for something unrelated when I saw one locker was slightly open. Natural assumption was that it was the fault of that last fool with down there. So go to investigate, and what do I find? The VD8 locker, the case code for the recent murder of Marvin Grossberg, had been tampered with. Maybe Peridot just left it open just on the way to the interrogation room. Tampered with in what way? It's always the trifling details with you, isn't it? Well, guess what? The small details matter. The evidence and files were all misaligned, ransacked, someone was looking for something. So I knew exactly what they were looking for, and sure enough, lo and behold... Upon inspection, I realized that a certain something wasn't there anymore. You're not gonna tell us what it is. But the whole criminal affairs and Mr. Wright here on the hunt for it. If you're not gonna tell what the evidence is, how is anyone gonna find it? But I don't get it. How can evidence just vanish into thin air? It didn't. As you yourself said, a certain officer entered the records room and helped himself. So where it is now? Perhaps then it vanished into thin air? We don't know. You were blushing again. He's getting a hot flush again. He's almost certainly lying in this one. For the benefit of the court, could you name the officer who took the evidence? Culprit was found to be the deceased Officer Perry Dox, who was also recently murdered. The fact that he was the one must be right. Yes, Your Honor, it was Perry Dox who was our supposed evidence thief. Perry Dox? Wait a moment. Was he the officer murdered last week by Vex Volper? That's confusing. Why would he, of all people, steal evidence from the BD of all cases? Once we find out what the item actually was, it's possible that all would become clear. Agreed? Chief Freud, is there anything you can personally tell us about the evidence? Flush? No, Your Honor. Oh, God. Yeah. For reasons I can't disclose due to case privacy, it's mostly really urgent to get the evidence back. And what reasons are that, if you're not going to say? Case privacy? What does that even mean? It means... It means, my good man, that VD8 is a case of some prominence. And we were involved in that case, so it shouldn't be a matter of case secrecy if it was to us. Certain aspects of the case must remain closely guarded from the public eye. Certain aspects? You're talking about the enigmium? And the rest? If you understand the delicate matter of the enigmium, then you will respect that of the missing item too. I'm out of other options, and this is where I am. Freud is the figurehead for Hemlock, and Cyclops don't lie. Somehow, someway, I had to at least prove that Hemlock is the driving force at work here. Come on, Phoenix, this is your last chance to save your badge. So we, just in the looks of all the pressing statements here, we have to present, like, we had to figure out what the evidence is, like, right atop our heads. Closer inspection, I realized that certain something wasn't there anymore. What do you have on hand? Okay, evidence-wise. So it has to be something that was from the VD8 case, or if Freud is going all about, like, you know, make things it's a piece of evidence which should be hidden from the public, so maybe if I'm gonna beat around the bush, and since none of the evidence seems to be anything we can recognize as from BDA, it's something new entirely. It's something about a stab in the dark. So it can't be anything the evidence from this so far. Fort Brisbane, Dignium, conversation transcript, Tama finger puppet, torn document, empty envelope, list of boogeyman victims. Upon closer inspection, I realized that something wasn't there anymore. I don't think it's possible we already have it though. Proprietary Grease and list of the boogeyman's known victims to date. Clive Warren, Tyra Sevenson, Blaine Schill, Cassandra Wyatt, Bert Rim, Nave, Sarah Trent, Cedric Maplethorpe, Errol Brisbane. They all garroted. What was it? The hint that Phoenix was going on about with Stab in the Dark. Well, I guess like Paradox's real name is Clive Warren. Tape recording this with a police call, Brisbane. Real Makatama. Fake. Blank cabinet. Conversation transcript. Leave cell phone. There's a large strip of blood on the edge as well as Bruce's prints. How are you supposed to figure out what the evidence really is if we don't even have anything on hand to point us to whatever it was? A stab in the dark? Like, did we just present this again? Achilles from the Kodofian smuggling ring. Member of the Kodofian smuggling, his way to the top in order to get close to the ringleader, which... Achilles. Well, this is something we had to, you know, present both to Volper and I think... And, I think... Renwick, but... How does this prove exactly what the stolen evidence was? Maybe we just have to go about, like, go on a limb here? Maybe? But first! but first! Stab in the dark, so let's try this. Doubt it. Clearly faulty. It's not a stab in the dark. Nothing faulty. Wrong. Gonna penalize. Time travel powers. Go. My close expression, I realized that strange something wasn't there anymore. Okay, let's see. Check. I found the arm of the sofa. Like, we defined, like, maybe some sort of relevance to it. Drawing some cherry grease and notepad. Majestic Brisbane, possibly an 8th B victim. Was examined to read. Garrote wire card piece, another possible B victim would be the 8th. It's the 3rd. There have been no more card pieces of the garrote wires, and they proof had a B behind the killings. Severe blunt force trauma in the head and torso. Lots of internal and external bleeding. Right arm broken. Length of wire. Possibly the original weapon before Brisbane's beaten. Photograph of Brisbane's unconscious body. Press examiner for a closer look. Currently missing. Enigmium is like something. We can't use that. So from Weaver, those will be about Smith leaving the house with Enigmium in hand. Okay, that's not even important at all. Trace my blood. Found the backup Brisbane's sofa. Drop blood. No. And this definitely doesn't work. So it's evidence from VD8, and just from how, like, you know, if it's maybe we have to go down the Paradox angle first off. What was it? Let me just see about the hint here again. Missing evidence, confidential. Find anything just keeps me confidential. Look at his face. It's my duty to keep the secret. Good, correct answer anyway. He won't tell us the missing evidence was. I'm sure that's what he's trying to hide for what reason. There's some way that I can prove what the stolen item actually was. Maybe I have to take a stab in the dark in this one. Wait, a stab in the dark? I think that's also a hint for the whole thing about the blackout. Like, so... Like, think about it logically. If Paradox was the one person who brought evidence from VDA to grill Volper, the evidence should be in the evidence room. Well, not the evidence room, the interrogation room. And it should be on, like, you know, part of the evidence that was involved in the last case when Paradox was killed. What was it? There was the knife that was stabbed into him, but there was no mention of any kind of knife in VDA entirely. Wait, hold on a second. A knife. Was a knife? I'm trying to remember. What was the murder weapon for VD8 again? What was it? Oh, it was oh, Grossberg stabbed in the heart. Wait. Did we even find a gosh dang knife in there? In VD8? I don't think we did. Wait, actually, hold on a second. Was there a knife? My memory's shoddy, so if there was a knife or not, I think it probably would have been left behind as a crime scene in the snow. The only thing I remember on the top of my head is a card and the prosecutor's badge. Was there a knife? I don't think we ever used a knife at all in the VD8 case, did we? That's my shoddy memory right now, but oh. I had the whole criminal affairs of Mr. Wright here on the hunt for it. So if we're going with the knife, is it? If, like, that's what it is, we don't think of it. Was that evidence stolen from VD8? For what reason? And why would it be brought all the way up back up here? We don't even have anything on hand for it, like a knife or anything like that. Paradox. Wait, hold on a second. Wait, Maybe it has to be, like, this is another case of just, like, literally... You have to, like, think in the mind of the developer and present evidence. Maybe, and what was it? Was found to be the deceased officer Paradox, who was also recently murdered. So maybe this is a weird contradiction where his name is not Paradox, and this is along the way to, like, discussing about, the last case? Let's boogeyman victims. His real name, Paradox, is Clive Warren. Maybe let's give that a go? No? I'm probably so off the mark with the knife. But, poison, etroquinine sachet, and a bloody, well, not bloody tape, just a broken piece of tape underneath the thing. Underneath the thing. Underneath the thing. Underneath the thing. Underneath the table. Sachet. The sachet bag was underneath Volper's chair. There was a mug that was on top of there. The knife that was in the victim's body, and was that literally it? Or this could just be a thing where there was, like, literally the evidence from VD8 was, like, someone stole it from the interrogation room, but I think I mentioned before, like, going around in circles in comments, to get, like, last episode, just about the evidence could have been stolen, but what was it? Like, the second the blackout happened, just Volper killed Paradox and just stabbed him, then poisoned the mug and the blackout, then Snow ran out, and Maggie was outside the door the entire time, like literally the entire time, and Snow ran into her. He was immediately arrested and carried out to, like, another, like, holding cell, and then there was a few minutes there where literally no one was there to, you know, the evidence could be stolen there, but at the same time, Volper was inside the room the entire time, as evidence literally just by Maggie coming back with some of their officers and walking in the room, and he was just sitting there, just looking around, just, oh, hi, hilly do there, neighbor, you know? So, and Volper never mentioned before about anyone else showing up. I mean, if someone else besides him stole evidence, besides, and when you're in a prison, and he's an inmate, it's hard for him to leave the place and hide the evidence anywhere else, especially since the police did a whole thorough search of the entire prison, I'm assuming, and nothing was found. So, by all accounts, the evidence should be in the interrogation room, but it's not. And the only three pieces of evidence I can think of the top of my head in there was sachet, all that. Oh boy, this definitely is something about, oh, evidence-wise. The 8 locker, case code for the recent murder ground. Okay, so the right thing to do, which is also a weird jump to conclusions bit again. Oh boy, it's a big flaw of this whole Fang game. Just about jumping leaps and moon logic, even though, like, technically logic makes sounds, but just the act of presenting itself. Closer inspection, I realized that starting something wasn't there anymore. Literally, I was on the right track with, like, later presenting, like, Clive Warren's name, but instead, we had to present a profile. Hooray! Yay! Oh my god. The missing evidence. It's too convenient that you won't tell anybody what it is, Chief Freud. Explain yourself, young man. You aim to keep its nature secret, yet you expect your officers to search for it? Sounds somewhat paradoxical, don't you think? Pun game. On point. Indeed. How can this object be found and nobody even knows what it is they're looking for? That was your intention, wasn't it, Chief Freud? Wait. I'm still confused about why you're actually like so at the same time you want it to be found, but at the same time you don't want anyone to know what it is. That's yeah. Have fun with that. Well, lucky for you, I may just have an idea of what the stolen evidence is. You what? Oh, you couldn't possibly. A stab in the dark. Those are struck a chord with me for a reason I didn't know. Until now. Yeah, it sure is a stab in the dark, but not in the way I was thinking it, okay? May even have to take a stab in the dark in this one. Oh, sorry, Clive Warren. I was thinking that? Oh my god. Ah, Jesus Christ. I hope this proves it, or at least paves the way towards finding out. The defense would like to present evidence to tell us what was stolen from the records room. Very well, Mr. Wright, please do so. To those of you who don't know, this man is Paradox. That's right, the officer who was murdered by Vex Volper a mere week ago. You're getting desperate now, son. What good will showing us that face do? Your Honor, you presided over the case. Please cast your mind back to a certain point. Looks like the murder weapon. How did a knife end up in a room like this? Apparently Doc's brought it in. The victim brought a knife in interrogation? How do you know? I had the knife checked for fingerprints, of course. And 2 sets were found. 2 people had the knife that night. Not gonna like this, am I? And who were they? Docs and Wolper. So Docs did bring a knife to the interrogation. Before I wonder. I think Snow mentioned, mentioned the reason the knife was brought in by Paradox is to grill him. I'm assuming that right. I'm just saying that just to make sure I get corrected or not. Yes, I remember now. Officer Docs brought that murder weapon to the interrogation himself, did he not? Exactly, Your Honor. And it was confirmed that he visited which particular place before entering that interrogation? The, police records room, is that correct? Wait just a minute! Okay, so we're going in this weird way of, even though, right track, but, oh my gosh. Ugh. This officer reportedly went to the records room first and came back with a knife. That's right. The defense has reason to believe that the item stolen from the VDA evidence locker was a knife used at night to murder Paradox. I kind of forgot that what the reason the knife was brought in for. Why the knife was there in the first place. Well, couple that in with, what happened with the poisoned sachet. Because, literally, we have literally no idea where that came in. Literally, at this point, literally, Volper has lost all his ties to, anything else. Red White, I'm pretty sure, is long and gone, so he's not gonna help with that whole thing. Oh, boy. So the knife was always a part of it. What do you say to that, Chief Freud? Am I wrong? Of course you're wrong. Nobody's right except me! Oh my god, that mentality. Then what's the defensive reaction? You knew all along that the stolen evidence was the VDA murder weapon, didn't you? VDA murder weapon. He's whistling like a kettle and he's close to boiling point. Oh gosh. Scary. A reaction like that is enough to convince me. But if you claim the knife was used to murder Paradox, then the current location of the stolen evidence must be that particular evidence locker. No, it's not! Your Honor is correct. Since it became the murder weapon for the Paradox case, it would have been filed under the case's evidence instead of VDA where it should be. But wait, wouldn't actually prove that the 2 knives are one and the same. The same knife that was used to kill Marvin Grosser being recycled to kill Paradox. There's one surefire way to find out. Defense requests that the knife in question be examined for blood and fingerprints. Blood and fingerprints? This is indeed the same knife that was used in the VD8. The blood of Marvin Grosser must still be on it. No, as Chief of Police, I'm forbidden to disprove this! Input from Chief Freud's side, right? I have a query. Precisely will be proven if the knife is revealed to be one from another case. Might bring about the answers to some questions, namely, why would Officer Docs bring his own murder weapon to that interrogation? And, what did he gain from obtaining that specific knife from the Grosser murder? If suspicions are to be believed, there may be a forgery of evidence going on. showcases for sure for what Nightfall was happening right now. But the possibility of an evidence forgery, I doubt like that I cannot ignore. Bailiff, contact the police department and tell them to bring out the knife from Perry Doc's case. Huh. Yeah, they never, they only investigated fingerprints on the knife instead of blood, didn't they? In the last case, wow. We only have time for a quick diagnostic right now on blood and fingerprints. Sir, right away. 30 minutes later, quick diagnostic. Your Honor, I have the results of the blood and prints test, as well as the knife itself. Oh, finally. Freud's been turning redder and redder and has been glaring at me the entire time. Like sitting in a room with an atomic bomb waiting for me to go off. So this is the knife that has been causing us so much confusion. And what are the test results? The fingerprints test revealed some rather faded prints matching those of Victor, sir. Faded? Expected. He was the one who was proven to have done it, after all. Oh, that was a week ago. Okay. And the blood test results? Sir, 2 different blood types were detected in the blade. The large amount that you see belonged to the officer that was murdered. And the other? The other was a very faint trace that has been present for some time. A more thorough examination will be required to identify whose blood it is. Has to be Grossberg's. But the test did manage to reveal one more thing, Your Honor. The faded blood stain is of a different type to the case of victims, Marvin Grossberg. Wait, it's not Marvin... Wait, what? Oh? Somebody else was injured by this blade during VD8? What? But if that's not the Grossberg's blood, then whose could it possibly be? Wait. Wait, so... If Nice is part of VD8, and it's not Grossberg, then... We don't even know the... This is not the murder weapon from Grossberg, but at the same time, it's part of the murders? What? Thank you, Bailiff. Now please see to it that this knife is put through a more extensive series of... How about you don't? I don't think you have any say over this right now. Chief Freud, is there something you wish to get off your chest? Say perhaps related to the suspicious circumstances of... Suspicious... Oh boy. Okay. He's gonna blow his lid. What in the name of... Just what is going on with the temperature of this courtroom today? Someone get a fucking fire extinguisher right now. Bad idea. I take it back. Turn his air conditioners back on. Abort, abort, abort! Let me make one thing perfectly clear for you maggots. You are having a fun time making yourself not look suspicious. Schadenfreude will not have his name sullied by such toxic slander. I think he already it's already been happening right now. Phoenix Wright, stand attention. Yes, Chief Freud? Please tell me that you'll go back to beaming like a Cheshire cat now. I'm very disappointed in you, son. Well, I'm disappointed to everyone, including my parents. You dare detain my good name and reputation in the police force. It's like the old saying, he who dares. Care to finish it off? He who dares wins? No. We tried. He who dares, young man, burns. Aren't you burning right now? This moment will go down in history as the track fall Phoenix Wright. Yeah, not in your life. He who played too close to the fire and burned himself to a crisp. Come on, Phoenix, don't let him psych you out. I mean, we have, like, we battle Cyclops every single time, so not this time. Sure, he's a big, angry, scary old man on fire, but you're on the right track, and his desperate defensiveness proves it. No, Chief Freud, you're the one playing with fire here. Is that a fact? That's me, this son. That godforsaken knife really is the same one for VD8. So what? What will that change? I have no idea where the filthy weasel stole it in the first place, but it has no possible connection to me or Hemlock. Can I really do it? Can I prove that Dox is after Hemlock? What was it? Like, should we even prove that Clive Warner was part of Greason's group? I don't think we can really prove that, except with his say, so, I can't. Will Freud be tied into somehow? So about son, this is a question I put to you. Can you prove that Maggot Paradox is pursuing Hemlock? Pursuing a hemlock. Evidence. If he was looking for the evidence of, like, VDA and bringing it along, the only thing we can go about is just... All we really have on hand is, like, Greason's word that, you know, Clive Warren was part of the group and going after him, but we don't have any evidence for that? Got wired. What's the Pokemon victims? So, like, this... Okay, please don't tell me this is another, like, case of just... Oh, boy. Like, what was it? Like, another leap of faith sort of thing. Oh, boy, please don't tell me that's this, because right now... What exactly do we have on hand to even prove that whole connection? Can you prove that Mega Paradox is pursuing Hemlock? It's the question right now or you're finished! Oh, fuck. I only get one shot at this. I think he's saying... Oh, boy. I have to think very carefully before I choose my answer. Very well. Chief Freud, Your Honor, just in case. Oh, boy, because this has a very unique outcome. Paradox is on Hemlock's trail with a VD8 knife, and this proves it. Was on Hemlock's trail with a VD8 knife, and this proves it. Okay, since profiles apparently was part of things now, let me just do the whole thing through here. Currently has a cartel and during electrical training. Investigation disgruntlement personified. Arrested under suspicion of being the one to attack Brisbane. Ex-Interpol agent investigating the Brisbane incident for some reason. Prosecutor for this case, my longtime friend and rival. Chief of Police, a volatile man who starts in the cold. Savage being in his own home in a stable condition but currently comatose. Next door neighbor supposedly witnessed the attack. Worked for Greason as a mule in the police until he was stabbed to death. His real name was Clive Warren. Like, did we really present his profile again? Because, like, he's, like, he worked with Greason. He was a mole. And that goes along with what you said before in the police, like, the police chief of office, Freud, about he just appeared one day out of nowhere. Currently in death row for being found guilty of the previous 2 murders. Mobster averting the case from behind the scenes. Affiliated with Achilles, nicknamed the Boogeyman. It's all of them. So if it's not his profile again, I think I'm probably at a loss. Bank order card from criminal organization Achilles. Blood, telephone. It's like everything that has to do with like the modern evidence doesn't really seem to be working here, right? Boy. Paradox of the Hemlock's trying with a VD8 knife, and this proves it. Enigmium, Gold Star, conversation transcript. Now, anything has to do with, like, literally the current Brisbane case has no bearing on anything happening right now. Achilles friendly Konofi smuggling ring. Doubt it. An envelope that Smith brought in, that's current time, so no, doesn't count. Blood, that's current murder. Enigmium is missing, it doesn't even have anything to do with VD8. Well, in a weird sort of twisted way, it was. Notepad. V8 knife, and this proves it. Okay, wait, hold on a second. So the VD8 knife, what was it? Do we even have that on hand? Yeah, we do. Involves somehow the VD8 incident, bears Wolper's faded prints, bears Paradox's blood and prints, plus an unidentified blood trace. Was he was looking into the knife because of the blood on here? Actually thinking about it now. No, this knife definitely was not involved in part of VDA entirely, wasn't it? Because I'm pretty sure, like, we would have done a blood test and proven it right then and there. This knife was a murder weapon. Well, I guess the police would have done a blood analysis, like... So this knife was stolen from VD8, but it's definitely not part of Reverend Grossberg's murder? What even is this? It's a one-size-fit-all penalty. Boogeyman victims. Clive Warren. Chair Sevenson, Blaine Chill. At some point, Detective Smith swapped up with a fake. Oh boy. I don't think any of the evidence actually goes to this. Unless we go like another big moon leap of logic, which, oh boy, I hate it. Okay, oh boy. After all the other stuff this game has, like, it's hard to think, is this another case of that right now? So, was on Hemlock's trail the VD8 knife, and this proves it. Just in the hell fact it says this proves it. Well, I'm just assuming it's like evidence, but if it's profile again, like just the whole thing is stand in the dark, that whole thing of literally just that weird justification, it has to be profiles again. But hold on a second, do we even have like? I keep going back to that because it's like the only possible thing I think that ties him to anything. Paradoxically, like looking at your Hemlock, but what does the knife have to do with anything with Hemlock entirely? Unidentified blood trace? And plus, we didn't even know a single thing about Achilles in that case, did we? Nothing. The only thing similar to that was, like, just, like, Red White's involvement in that case, but, well, somehow the VDA incidents. Unidentified blood prints on trail with VD8 knife, this proves it. You know what? Fuck it. Might as well just go on a limb. And plus, well, I've seen it firsthand, too, that just failing this has a unique ending sort of thing, so, oh boy. Yeah, I was wrong. That laugh is a good sign, right? Oh, it's good, alright. If you fancy yourself as a garbage man, perhaps a toilet cleaner, just helping you with your next career, son. Garbage man? Oh, wait. Right answer, young man. Once I picking your badge and you blew it. Wasting my time, but intentionally wasted time, I'll admit. Now then, let's move this along. Your badge, son. My badge? And that was the day I lost my badge. My livelihood. Everything. Everything I learned, everything I fought for. It's all pointless in the grand scheme of things. I still have an answer. What was I thinking, trying to accuse the chief of police without solid grounds? We didn't even have anything on hand, unless it was another goddamn moon logic thing. Oh boy. I mean, needless to say that I failed. Rumka was sentenced in Brisbane. He never woke up. I suspect that, even to this day, Hemlock is somewhere out there. The boogeyman is real. And he got me. And it crashed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh geez, oh joy. Oh, that's a fun time. Oh boy. Out of all the evidence so far, it just seems like rapid gosh dang moon logic, which I'll figure out next time. How exactly do you prove like a knife that has no identifiable blood trace, which we can't even have further testing on it, be tied to Hemlock if so far nothing is tied with him, and the whole VDA case of Martin Grossberg had nothing to do with Achilles in general. Or wait. What was it? Like, there was the whole thing about Volper was the whole thing about Volper could have been part of it. At least the whole idea, like, at least Jack Crane or something like that, actually, thinking about it. I keep going back to Volper saying that, like, like, the Enigmium, like, Achilles organization was looking for the Enigmium, and Vex Volper knew about the Enigmium from Jack Crane. At least figured something else about it, and... And Cortis Alba and Hemlock know Vex Volper, but not Jack Crane. Okay, I'm just going around in circles. Might just end us here and just think about what to do in the meantime go back. But that was a very interesting game over. Like, oh geez, oh that CG just, oh the badge being fucking destroyed. Oh my gosh, that was great. Oh wow, that was smooth as hell. Oh boy, oh this is a fun time. Oh boy. So next time I'll figure out exactly what exactly piece of evidence we use, and if it's goddamn moon logic, then I'll be cursing again. But if it's not, then I was sitting over here in the corner with a dunce hat on my head, just figuring out how I missed it. But we'll see which one of those two possibilities it is next time. So, what a fun time watching this as I'm playing this. See you next time, the time may be, and I all hope you have a fantastic day.